But yeah, it's so hilarious to be in his close circle and be like, what? Donald Trump doesn't want to pay the legal fees?
Some exclusive new reporting on the hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees that Rudy Giuliani is now staring down, and the desperate attempts that he has made to get former President Donald Trump to cover them. With his attorney in tow, I am told that Rudy Giuliani traveled to Mar-a-Lago in late April on a mission to make a personal appeal to Trump to pay his legal bills. By going in person, Giuliani and that lawyer, Robert Costello, believed that they could help explain face-to-face why Trump needed to assist his attorney with those ballooning legal bills. They argued that really it was in Trump's best interest to do so. But apparently it fell on deaf ears. Trump is notoriously strict about digging into his own coffers. He did not seem very interested, I'm told, in covering everything that Giuliani and Costello wanted. One source says that he verbally agreed to help, but he didn't commit to any specific amount or timeline. Another source tells me that Trump really only agreed to pay a small fee from a data vendor that was hosting Giuliani's records. I'm told that was about $340,000, while in total, Giuliani's legal fees are in the seven-figure range. Giuliani's trip to Mar-a-Lago has not been previously reported. We're telling you about it first here on The Source tonight, but it does indicate the level of financial stress that he has been facing for months now. Some people in Trump's inner circle were actually surprised by Trump's unwillingness to pay for Giuliani's bills, given.
How are you in Trump's inner circle and you're surprised? Like, I don't even think Rudy Giuliani was surprised that Trump said no. He went anyway because he has no other options. If anything, Donald Trump is incredibly famous, most famous, for refusing to pay the $5 a month subscription at the top of the hour to avoid the 3-minute ad break. That's what he's best known for. Now, if you don't want to be like Trump, if you want to avoid the top of the hour ad break, then all you need to do is pay $5 a month in the form of a subscription, or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime, or the very few lucky get gifted a sub, right? Another way you can avoid the top of the hour ad break is by getting gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. But yeah, it's so hilarious to be in Trump's orbit, in his close circle, and be like, what? Donald Trump doesn't want to pay the legal fees of people that are his co-defendants, who could potentially get him in trouble if they're not adequately protected?
He could find himself under intense pressure to cooperate with federal and now state prosecutors who have charged Trump. Giuliani already sat down voluntarily with Jack Smith's team this summer in 2 back-to-back sessions. He's now a co-defendant in the election interference case in Georgia. He is facing 13 criminal charges, like Trump, and potentially serious prison time. It's not out of character for Trump to not want to pay legal fees. This is something we have heard from many of his attorneys in the past, including his former attorney, Michael Cohen, when I sat down with him last month.
Now, history repeats itself. One thing that we know for certain is that Donald does not pay legal fees. Donald doesn't pay fees at all. There's a pattern to what he does. He will pay a little bit, fall behind, pay a little more, fall bigger behind.
I'm joined now by former White House counsel under President Nixon, John Dean. John, good to see you again. I mean, what do you make when you hear that Rudy Giuliani is going to Mar-a-Lago, making this desperate plea, trying to get Trump to pay for his legal fees?
I love this guy constantly being on CNN. One, because he's profoundly old, and two, he's like, his glasses are from the Nixon era. He himself is a Nixon guy. Like, what do you think about a competent legal team in comparison to Trump's incompetent legal team, and especially as it pertains to like avoiding any kind of legal scrutiny for illegal acts?
And Trump not really reciprocating on most of that.
I think that Trump is aware that during Watergate, for example, the payment of legal fees got lawyers in a lot of trouble, as did joint defense agreements. The fact that he's not paying, though, is a pattern of this man. As Michael just said, he just doesn't like to pay his bills. So he will have people come after him to get the fees. He had an agreement with Michael, and Michael had to go to court to get his fees paid. So, Caitlin, there's no surprise here. And Trump, I think, is willing to tough it out. He doesn't think Rudy will flip.
But that is a concern. I mean, I think people, the Michael Cohen effect, people have said that Trump has kind of changed his tactics there because of a concern of it turning into a Michael Cohen situation potentially.
I doubt that Rudy will. Rudy knows the inner workings of the system better than most as a former U.S. attorney from the Southern District of New York. He knows particularly the RICO law. He will try to poke holes. He will think he can prevail. He'll.
This is John Dean, who Nixon attempted to force to sign a letter of resignation that amounted to a confession that Dean had directed the Watergate cover-up without the knowledge of the president, Haldeman or Ehrlichman. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Watergate, White House Plumbers is a really fun look into, a really comedic and fun look into the Watergate disaster and how demonstrably incompetent, how unimaginably and hilariously fucking incompetent the Nixon administration was at spying on the DNC and the Democrats in general is pretty funny. Definitely recommend it. It's also, I mean, RFK Jr.'s most important supporter acts his fucking face off in it. Woody Harrelson is, of course, who I'm referencing here. Good show. Put one of the main characters. Is it new Kennedy fan? Yes. Woody Harrelson famously came out recently with a show of support for RFK Jr. Anyway.
He certainly, at the motion stage, the early stages of this proceeding, is not likely to flip. It's only if the government of Georgia can overwhelm him and he realizes he's going to go down and maybe he can save himself some years by cracking a deal.
I sat down with Bill Barr, Trump's former attorney general, of course, as you know, the other week, and he had this to say about what he has seen, he says, happen to people who were in Trump's orbit.
He leaves in his wake ruined lives like this, the people who went up to Capitol Hill, these individuals, many of the people who served him in government that got sucked into things, and he just leaves all this carnage in his wake.
Do you think he cares about that?
No, he doesn't care about that. Loyalty is a one-way street for him.
John, do you think Rudy Giuliani winds up as more carnage here if he hasn't already in some people's view?
I think he will. I think he's in deep trouble. The government's case, it looks like it's overwhelming. His federal issues have not been resolved. Trump could not pardon him in Georgia if indeed he is convicted in Georgia.
How about pardon himself? Trump could not pardon himself in Georgia either, let alone Rudolph Giuliani, you know? Oh, God. This is why I love the Georgia case, okay? I love it because it's like, it's a very good case. It's a very strong case. There's a lot of real harm and real conspiracies that occurred there. And I don't mean conspiracy theories, I mean like conspiring to do crimes. And obviously it'll be televised in its entirety because it's a state court. So I love that. And last but not least, Donald Trump has no like presidential jurisdiction, pardon power whatsoever in state affairs. As a matter of fact, as we found out, even the fucking governor does not have singular pardon power in the state of Georgia, unlike some other states. So it's awesome.
I don't think Trump is going to make it back to the White House. I think people.
Oh, yeah. The Roger Stone planning the fake electors video came out, too, which was an Ari Melber The Beat exclusive, which hasn't gotten a lot of momentum. I don't know why. Maybe it's like not a real bombshell. Maybe they're exaggerating it, because usually things like that get a lot more coverage.
People are starting to get a glimmer of what that could be, and they don't want it. Maybe more Republicans will do that before the primary vote. I don't know. They're slow learners, apparently. So I think Rudy is going to get destroyed by this. It's sad, but true.
I mean, yeah, what is he, if he is as out of money as his attorney was arguing in court today that he is? I mean, the entire reason his attorney was in court today was arguing that he could not pay part of what he is being ordered to pay as part of that Smartmatic lawsuit. I mean, what does he do in that situation? Does he represent himself? I mean, what options does Rudy Giuliani have at that point?
Well, he can get a court-appointed lawyer at some stage. Representing yourself is the worst option because anyone who represents himself is likely to make bad decisions about that representation. I think Rudy is likely to go into Chapter 11 or bankruptcy of some sort. I understand his apartment is on the market. It could raise several $1 million. But he probably has a lot of debt he has to handle immediately as well. So I think bankruptcy is a potential and maybe a court-appointed attorney.
I mean, that would be kind of remarkable in the worst way. If someone was, once known as
Ain't no fucking way broke boy gets a court-appointed attorney. That is fucking hilarious. Dude, oh my God, I wish Lowell Overruled was in Georgia instead of New York. Imagine Alex having to fucking defend Rudolph Giuliani in court. Hasan make an offer on his apartment for 1/8 asking price. What is that? Whose apartment?
America's mayor, the role that he had after 9/11 is then potentially, as you predict could happen, being represented by a court-appointed attorney.
Oh, Rudy's selling his apartment. I can't wait for the Adam McKay movie of this. Oh, it's so true. There will be a banger Adam McKay movie made out of this.
And filing bankruptcy.
Are you even listening to the vid? Okay, I was fucking pissing, okay? I
to cover his legal fees.
It has a Shakespearean element about it, although I don't really think of Shakespeare when I look at Rudy and some of the news clips of him recently. It does have that kind of tragic tale that is being told in front of us. So we'll have to all watch, and no one wishes him ill, but he's gotten himself where he is.
What do you make of?
Can Rudolph Giuliani get 6.5 milli for his Upper East Side apartment? Yo, look how gross that shit looks. Bro, I'm not even kidding. I can smell it. You know what I'm talking about? I can smell that apartment. Just by looking at it, I can smell that apartment, and it's disgusting. Yeah, mothballs and red wine stains. I want to roll up to him and be like, I'll give you fucking $1 million. Not a single dime more. Take it or leave it, bitch. Take it or leave it, broke boy. The hefty price tag made us wonder if the 79-year-old was being realistic. It's on the Upper East Side, close to Central Park. On Madison Avenue, the building dates to 1906 and fronts a Gothic-inspired brick and terracotta facade. High floor ceiling, resident bows, plenty of sunshine. Original details include windows, hardwood floors, wood paneling, and leaded glass. The unit is accessed by a semi-private elevator. The formal layout includes a living room, a library, a wood-burning fireplace, a dining room that leads to a glass conservatory. Eating kitchen comes with a butler's pantry, and there's a laundry room and a staff room with an entire ensuite bath. Oh, God, look at these bedrooms. Oh, but the Eames Cook chair. My man's got the Eames Cook chair, folks. Look at that. Two bedrooms, two baths were combined to create an impressive primary suite. It was a site of an FBI search. Ex-mayor is on the home since 2002. Only one other apartment is currently for sale in the 33-unit building. That one is located on a lower floor and has 4 bedrooms. It's available for $2.8. At 2,200 square feet, the place comes out to be $1,300 per square foot. Giuliani's price is higher up and has a slightly bigger floor plan with 10 rooms, roughly 2,500 square feet. The last sale in the building was $3.7 million for a very similar yet more updated and glamorous apartment, says Jenny Lentz. As such, while the 6.5 is definitely rich, perhaps they are counting on the celebrity attachment. Yeah, I think he's putting this up specifically so he can get like a donor who doesn't even, who 6.5 million is nothing for him, to just basically do a cash infusion. I don't think it's because he's a celebrity. I think it's like a Trump loyalist billionaire who just goes, yeah, fuck it. Here you go. Shut the fuck up. Because there is no shot Rudy Giuliani won the deal for OxyContin maker to continue sales of drug behind opiate deaths. Wait, what the fuck? Purdue Pharma hired Rudolph Giuliani, the former New York mayor and now Donald Trump's lawyer, to head off of a federal investigation in the mid-2000s into the company's marketing and powerful prescription painkiller at the center of an epidemic that is estimated to claim 300,000 lives. While Giuliani was not able to prevent the criminal conviction over Purdue's fraudulent claims for OxyContin safety and effectiveness, he was able to reach a deal to avoid a bar on Purdue doing business with the federal government, which would have killed a large part of the multi-billion-dollar market for the drug. God, I fucking despise this piece of shit so fucking much. This might literally be one of the most evil things he's done in a sea of evil. At this point, he's just like competitively evil just for the fun of it. You know what I mean? This ghoul deserves everything that he's getting. Yeah, it's what I think of every time I think of all of his bad shit. He deserves every fucking bad thing that's happening to him currently for aligning with an obvious idiot like Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know. It's just very frustrating to see.
Of what we saw at Georgia overall, the district attorney there saying that she wants to have a March trial date. She's actually asking for March 4th of a trial date. I mean, whether or not that actually happens remains to be seen. But does that seem realistic, just given the makeup of this case, how complex it is, the fact that there are 19 co-defendants here?
I think what's going to slow down the Georgia case is the others will file the kind of motion that Mark Meadows has filed to remove the case to federal court. While the state proceedings will continue, it will bog things down a bit. And I don't really believe, from my talk with lawyers who've really studied this body of law about removal, that they are going to remove the case to federal court. And if they do, it's still the same Georgia prosecutors. And the calendar could be even clearer at the federal level. I don't know. It's just a different jury pool, broader, wider. So that's what's likely to slow it down, Caitlin, is the removal proceedings. So
you don't think that they're likely going to be able to get it moved from a state proceeding to, as Mark Meadows is doing, but also we are told by sources that Trump is also likely to do. You don't think that's likely?
I don't. It's hard to envision this as official behavior of any of the people. When you read that indictment and you read what is being included, Mark Meadows was not just setting up media.
I'd be so sad. Trump is trying to do this as well, by the way. Trump is also trying to make the move to take the court case to federal away from Georgia State, which is it's sad and it's scary. I don't think it'll happen, and yet I don't like that he's even trying.
He was not arranging telephone calls. That's done by secretaries, staffers, White House operators. He's in the thick of this. And as the indictment brings out, is much different than his motion. So I don't think they're going to prevail. And many of them don't even have federal standing to remove.
Why not just take the spectacles off? Those are reading glasses, 100%. I don't know if you have any old relatives that need glasses. Usually glasses for old people have like two different versions where like in the bottom of your grandpa's glasses, they usually have like a reading portion. And it is specifically when you look down when you're reading, do you activate them? Bifocals, yeah.
Those who are the fake electors, for example. And it's just limited to those who were in federal office when these events happened.
Guys, you have to understand, the guy that they're talking to right now is fucking ancient. He was born in 1938. Okay, here he is. He was involved in Watergate. He was a part of the cover-up in Watergate and also gave testimony to Congress as a witness. His guilty plea to a single felony in exchange for becoming a key witness for the prosecution ultimately resulted in a reduced sentence, which is really funny. It's funny to have that guy come on to talk about Donald Trump's criminal misconduct.
Yeah, I mean, and to bring this full circle, Rudy Giuliani is also saying he's going to potentially make that argument, though, I mean, he obviously did not work for the federal government. We'll see what the courts decide. John Dean, thank you for your perspective tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he has like firsthand experience with this kind of shit. Oh, here. Well, I'll show you this thing before we get to the federal, or the grand jurors being fucking threatened with murder. Here's Trump vet Roger Stone pushing the elector plot on tape.
Although state officials in all 50 states must ultimately certify the results of the voting in their state, the final decision as to who the state legislatures.
My man moved to get a better shot. I don't think that this was a leak, okay? I think that he fucking filmed this for himself.
Authorize be sent to the Electoral College is a decision made solely by the legislature.
And by the way, of course he has a Nixon tattoo. He has a Nixon poster. He has a fucking Nixon tattoo.
Any legislative body may decide on the basis.
Guys, Roger Stone has a Nixon back tat, and it's a large one.
Of overwhelming evidence of fraud to send electors to the Electoral College.
Saw something about this on Danish news because it was apparently a Dane shooting this documentary. It's called A Storm Foretold. Love that.
Who accurately reflect the president's legitimate victory.
He also is absolutely a conehead. He's got that, what's that fucking crypto dickhead who loves Elon, who blocked me? God damn it. He has the same exact egghead that other guy has. Andreessen, Mark Andreessen, exactly. Him and Mark Andreessen have the exact same shaped head. It's like there's something real weird about it. I don't know if it's like it like happens when you're coming out of the womb or something. Like I don't know what it is.
In their state.
Can we move on? No, bitch. What do you mean? Can we move on?
Which was illegally denied him through fraud. We must be prepared to lobby our Republican legislatures by personal contact and by demonstrating the overwhelming will of the people in their state, in each state, that this may need to happen.
I absolutely love that Roger Stone, out and about in broad daylight, in fucking public, is basically like, here is how I'm going to do something very illegal. Please make sure you get the right angles, Danish documentarian. Like, these guys they're awesome. I mean, Roger Stone is also the guy responsible for the Brooks Brothers riot in Florida, something we've talked about a lot. He has a lot of experience. He's the guy that you go to when you want to steal an election. That's for sure. After all, he stole one already. And there's something very funny about just doing it so openly, you know? doing it so out and about in such a flagrant capacity. Just like, yeah, I mean, who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm doing fucking illegal stuff. What are you going to do about it? Shut the fuck up. Here, make sure you get my good side, you know? Like, I already stole one. What are you going to do? They did nothing. They promoted me. I did everything right, and they promoted me last time. Every time there has been issues in American government with Republican presidents, Roger Stone is there. Okay? Like, this motherfucker worked on the Nixon campaign, dude. He's been there every step of the way. Roger Stone's like, oh, is there illegal shit happening? I will be there no matter what, okay? It's kind of crazy. He's like a supervillain. He has a lot of supervillain-like qualities. He loves watching his wife get fucked by nubile young men. His words, not mine. That is not even a joke. He has put out ads on classifieds on Craigslist in the past. Yes. Where he engages in, cuckolding practices. He is incredibly flashy, as you guys know. He's a fucking Nixon tattoo in the back of his neck. My uncle-in-law worked for Stone in the 80s and would deposit like $101 donation checks from Communist Party USA or Black Panthers and then use the canceled checks and campaign smears. I love that. That's so awesome. It's really interesting because, like, what you're describing there is devious, except here, let me tell you, a lot of that goes unnoticed. Okay, there are still devious practices happening right now. An example I have talked about that no one really even gives a shit about because the dude is, like, ultimately irrelevant is the what is it, Doug Burnham? Is that his name? I keep forgetting. He's the governor of North Dakota. Or is it the southern one? Is it South Dakota or North Dakota? Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum is a billionaire governor of North Dakota. Doug Burgum has an actual scheme currently in order to accrue 40,000 individual donors to be able to appear on stage for the debates. He has to get 40,000 individual donors. So he set up a scheme where he said he would give $20 back in pay cards, gift cards for anyone that donates a single dollar. I just got $20 from him, Lamau. Yeah, see, people in here have done it. And it's really interesting. Another one they were talking about this on Chapo. I just listened to it. Another scheme was, I think is a brilliant one, offering campaign merch for $1, free shipping. Like, for $1, you can buy anything you want. And then, that way, and plus free shipping, that way you can, you basically will force people to donate to your campaign, individuals to donate to your campaign. Another one is the party that one of the guys threw, apparently. I don't even know half these fucking people that are running for president in the Republican campaign, on the Republican side. Another one was throwing a party where Harry Johnson is sending his book out. I have it, and he's soliciting donations through it. The concert scam is great, where it's if you attend a concert that is being thrown, the ticket, like, you have to pay for a ticket for the concert, and it's like super cheap, and it's in a water park. Pete Buttigieg did the same thing to get small donors. He did? I didn't know that. Is this legal? I don't think it should be, but it is, apparently. Yeah, see? Look, Perry Johnson. For $1, you get a woke, white, structured, adjustable hat made in the USA, baby. His entire fucking store is full of, like, shit that absolutely does not cost $1. Would cost way more than $1. Defund the FBI, abolish the FBI. I kind of want to buy these. I think I might buy these. Fuck. Perry Johnson, 2 cents to save America. Wait, it's $1? Yeah. And it's also free shipping. You guys don't understand. He needs individual donors. And if you're not like actually a serious candidate, you're not going to get 40,000 individual donors. So you have to set up a scheme. That's what these guys keep doing. Anyway, this is the best Perry Johnson clip. Dude, I don't even know who Perry Johnson is. Okay? This is my job. My job is to look at presidential candidates and tell you about it. And I didn't even know where this guy came from, what he was doing. I had no fucking idea.
United States of America in every way. Let's let Iowa continue to be number one.
Off the charts, Johnson full blast effort to ignite
Let's
campaign.
do it. Let us do it now.
He's like reverse Howard Dean.
No, no, yes. Boy, I almost fell off.
Very fired up there. Tonight we introduce many of you to Perry Johnson. He is running for president as a Republican. He's described on his website as a self-made businessman, problem solver, and quality expert from Michigan who helped save the American auto industry. Mr. Johnson, thanks for joining us.
Well, delighted to be there, Brett.
You know, I ask every candidate on this show, and I've asked all of them who has a chance to be on the debate stage, what's the most important issue facing America?
The economy. We are literally $33 trillion in debt. In fact,
Oh, thank God, dude. Thank God. Thank God someone is finally saying what needs to be said. The debt. He's running to fix the debt.
for the first time in history, we have
At least he looks like Donald Trump on Ozempic, dude. This is why Donald Trump can never lose weight. If Donald Trump got on that Ron DeSantis style Ozempic diet, he would look like this and he would actually lose every election permanently.
interest payments that are larger than what we spend on defense. It's $900 billion, which amounts to about $610 per month per family. Can you imagine a situation where every family is having to pay now $610 a month?
Oh, you're talking about the Pete Buttigieg campaign. I covered this. Yes. Okay. This is different. Buttigieg campaign introduces contest for lowest donation. Yeah, I know. That was for clout so they could fucking say that the average donation was like $1.
Just in the interest in our debt. And let's keep it in perspective. Right now, if you were to take a family with an income of $70,000 a year and they were $450,000 in debt, they were going to have a meeting and they're going to say, look, let's cut back. Next year, what do you say we only spend $91,000? It's nutty. And it puts everything in jeopardy.
You know, a lot of people have seen your ad, a number of different channels, and the plan that it talks about is a 2% plan. Explain that, 2 cents.
Well, right now, the government goes out of its way to spend every penny in the budget every year. They start in April to make sure that
Bamzilla Gaming. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I'm not going to even fucking lie to you. There is 0% chance I'm watching the rest of this video. Okay? It's just not happening. I can't do this. Like, this guy is the least charismatic motherfucker. Holy shit.